To give a brief, there's a psychologist. He's a very famous psychologist in the 90s or 80s, and he's helped a lot of patients. But there's this one patient who's through 18 months of therapy, nothing worked, none of the medicines worked, nothing. So he starts on hypnotherapy. It's just like past life regression. You put her in that state, and she starts talking about her past lives, and she lived 76 lifetimes. She's like a proper Christian who never believed, who didn't even know about past lives.
Right.
But she was in the hypnotic state talking about her past life. She was talking about her life in Egypt. I want to take a shot at it.
Yeah.
At trying to explain past life as we are energy with layers of energy. It's not, there's the subtlest quantum level energy, which we cannot see, has no form. That's the soul, that's the source. And then there is the energetic body around it. This energetic body is actually accumulated over time. Whenever our soul started, whether it's the beginning of the universe or just recently, it starts accumulating energy just because it's a wave, right? It's traveling across the dimensions, across the space, and as it's moving, it's literally colliding into more energy. And it's a wave, so it takes it along. So as it starts growing in size, just like a wave on the ocean, it keeps collecting, and eventually it will reach a point where it will go back and dissolve back into the universe, back into it, just like it comes to the shore and just gets dissolved and it goes back. That's the journey of a soul, is it collects momentum. And as it collects momentum, it collects intensity and power, and then it hits the shore, and then it gets dissolved back. This happens over millions of years. As it travels and it comes back, it takes lifetimes. Now, as it's collecting energy, sometimes it gets hit really hard by other waves, and sometimes it gets support from other waves, and that's the trauma or the love or the life lessons, or that's how it plays into it. Is if it's collided with waves that are coming in the opposite direction, it has to be stronger than the other wave to overcome it. Otherwise, it stops, goes back to the source, then begins again. And the beauty about the soul and the beauty about this energy is that if you get stopped here, you can start from here and then go ahead. Unlike a wave, which just gets dissolved and then a whole new thing forms. So that is how I see it. That's how I would explain the soul's journey.
So in your analogy, the wave, is it the avatar of particular human?
The wave is the soul. The wave is the soul. But the wave is part of the ocean, right? It's not separate, but it looks separate for the eye. But when it comes out as a wave, then it takes the form of an avatar. But if when it goes back into the water, into the ocean, that's its natural state. That's where the soul is. It's in the source, in the light. It's in between lives, the limbo state. What do you think?
No, I think that's where so. What happens is that if you're comparing the wave to the soul, I think that's not how it is. I mean, I know what you're trying to say, but the analogy is not bang on.
Okay.
Because the soul actually is that permanent state always. It cannot accumulate energy. It is complete.
The soul is not. The soul, of course, it's complete, but but the energetic body around it.
So which is different? Which is the energy body?
I'm talking about the energy body. The soul itself it is complete, of course. But
There is nothing that you can add on to it, or you can subtract. So I feel it's not the soul that you were referring to. I think you're referring to the energy body.
The energy body is driven by the soul, isn't it?
Everything is driven by the soul, which is the creator.
So which is why I was referring to it as a soul. So if you see it as from the point of view of
No. There's a clear distinction between the soul and the energy body.
I agree.
I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
The energy body is a changing thing.
Yes.
It keeps changing every moment to moment.
Yes.
Like your physical body.
Yes.
Whereas the soul is permanent.
Yeah, but it's also pure consciousness.
Pure consciousness.
Yes.
It is permanent. It is indestructible. It has been like that since time immemorial. It will continue to be like that.
Correct.
So there's no change that is possible there.
I agree.
It is exactly the same which has been earlier, which is going to be in future.
I agree.
So you cannot, in your analogy, have the same, put them on the same pedestal.
I'm not.
They are completely different.
Yeah, I agree with you. So the way I'm
So for
seeing
you, what is the wave? It is in your analogy. Your wave is the soul, which is not, I'm assuming. I think you were referring to the energy body.
I meant the wave is the avatar, which is the energy body, right? The outer layer of it would be the physical body, but then the avatar is the energetic body that the soul has taken in this lifetime. But the soul...
That is perfectly fine. If you're giving that example, that it's the avatar, then it's your analogy holds good.
Yeah.
But if you're saying it's the soul, then it's not.
Yeah, it's the soul is the whole ocean. That's the soul, right? That's the source and the soul.
The whole ocean is the creator.
And
the one energy.
And we are
and the droplets of that is the soul.
Yeah.
One drop, any drop of that is the soul, including the drops in the wave.
Why would you call it a drop though? Because there's no difference between the soul.
No, there is no.
And the creator, right?
No. So, yeah, good question.
Yeah.
There is no difference. It isn't exactly the same energy. However.
Oh, it's a part of it, is it? No?
However.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's a part of it.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, right, in this analogy, every part of that, every drop, if I may use, because drop is easy to understand.
Yeah, visually
every smallest particle of that water has a personality of itself, which is what the cell and the body example is.
Correct.
And the avatar, again, is the physical form of it.
Okay.
Even when you leave the physical body, the personality or the energy body continues to be with it always.
Correct.
The energy body, which has got the emotions and thoughts, and the soul is at the center of all. So the energy body engulfs the soul.
Exactly.
And it's got all the thoughts, which creates the personality.
Yeah.
It's got all the emotions, memories, and all of that. That is always part of the journey or personality. It's always, you carry it across lifetimes.
Yes, it is.
Irrespective of the physical avatar.
Yes, it is. Correct.
So in your example, if you look at it more closely, the example, what you're saying, that it gains momentum and becomes a wave towards the shore, then goes back and kind of, that's exactly how you look at a lifetime.
Yeah.
A lifetime.
But it's not like
millions of lifetimes. One lifetime. So one lifetime you start the journey of the avatar.
Okay.
You reach a certain stage and then you leave the body. At the end, come back and leave the body and disintegrate, and then that lifetime concludes. And through all of this, you're the soul, or you're part of the water, or whatever.
Correct. This is usually the analogy that we have. It is like one soul. However, I was equating it to many lifetimes because for only one reason, which is, like you said, the soul is engulfed by the energetic body, but the soul is pure consciousness. So the soul consciously is collecting these memories and experiences over lifetimes. Such as that is the momentum of the consciousness of the soul. And as it is collecting these, if enough energy is collected, then it can change forms, right? So it can go from being just like a stone, let's say, to a human being. That's the full evolution of consciousness. at least like degrees of consciousness. So
Interesting.
what do you think about
No,
it?
no. So I think your analogy, if I'm understanding it correctly, is that as you move across lifetimes, you collect more energy.
You collect enough energy that you can then basically pick up various life forms. So you start at the very beginning, which is, if you have very less energy, you can probably be like an insect. And then over time, you've collected enough energy to manifest the full body. At the same time, you also have to collect the memories and knowledge and experiences over lifetimes to figure out how to construct or how to manifest a human body. And then you get to the human level, at which point you have the ability to realize the pure, complete consciousness. Only humans have the ability to
become aware of
aware of the
correct
Yeah.
in its fullest form.
Yeah.
So
What do you think?
yeah, I kind of this is interesting what you just shared,
Yeah.
because I never looked at it from that perspective. Like when you start as an insect, and the journey of the soul from an insect to the next level, from a stone to an insect.
Yeah.
I have not yet evaluated that journey, but
This comes from I was reading the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. There's a line in that where it's like a conversation between like a guru and a student.
right,
And the student asks the one who practices chanting Om every day for his own life, what does he gain? And the guru says, you essentially learn the knowledge of the lowest to the highest. To reach pure consciousness, you have to understand its various degrees. So you have to start from the lowest frequency and then consciously be able to perceive all the frequencies through experience, through memories, through practice of living. Not practice, but through living.
experience.
Yeah, experience.
No, so I've never read any of the ancient texts.
Okay.
I have no idea of Upanishads or Yoga Sutras or Puranas or Bhagavad Gita. I've never read any of these. And so to that extent, I'm not a religious guy, and whatever I've experienced is whatever I've gathered to my own experience is what I share. So in my experience, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. I think what you're saying is that as you move along, as the soul moves along in the journey, the energy body gains momentum in terms of strength.
Yeah.
To be able to then hold a
Various
physical life.
Yeah, various manifestations
a human
of
being's life.
Yeah.
Or human avatar, to be able to take the
Yeah.
human avatar at the end.
Yeah.
And then it goes through its own journey across several human avatars.
Correct.
And then at the end, it kind of becomes aware of who it really is.
Yeah.
Right? That's exactly what you're saying.
Yes, once it realizes the true potential of just pure energy, then it can transcend the physical form, the soul, and then it can go into higher dimensions of where the physical form is no longer needed.
Which is the moksha state.
It's moksha for humans,
Yeah.
but it's the beginning for the next couple of dimensions that
Correct.
are.
It's moksha for human.
Yeah. The liberated from the human form.
Rebirth.
Yeah.
From the cycle of rebirth.
Correct. The other book that I was mentioning to you is Many Lives, Many Masters.
Yeah, I've read that, correct.
That is, well, just to give a brief, there's a psychologist. He's a very famous psychologist in the 90s or 80s. And he's helped a lot of patients, but there's this one patient who's through 18 months of therapy, nothing worked, none of the medicines worked, nothing. So he starts on hypnotherapy, which is also something I want to talk about. So hypnotherapy, and then she's in the alpha state. She basically, just like past life regression, you put her in that state and she starts talking about her past lives, and she lived 76 lifetimes, and 76 lifetimes she was going through pain, and she was going through a lot of discomfort and a lot of disease because she did not have the faith in the masters. This is in her state of hypnosis. She was saying these things, that she did not have faith in the masters. She did not have faith in God, and which is why she was going through all this pain. And now that she's gained, now she's like a proper Christian. And who never believed, who didn't even know about past lives.
Right.
But she was in the hypnotic state talking about her past life. She was talking about her life in Egypt and in various other 76 lifetimes she was talking about. And in the middle, there's a lot more to it. But that's the idea, is that once you get to the human life, you don't... the idea is to gain faith, with belief and faith, you gain that energy, which is equal to, at least the awareness of the energy that is the source, that is God. And with the belief and with faith, once you gain that, then you can be freely liberated from the physical form, because now you have that belief, and then you have the choice.
So probably belief and faith are important part of that journey when you begin with, but you cannot do things on belief and faith. This is purely an experience. Unless the person experiences
Correct.
the energetic part of himself or herself,
Yes.
and gets to experience how he or she is pure creativity and pure expansive state, it's only then that the belief becomes a reality for that person. Until then, it's just a concept. Right?
I completely agree with you. This is I think it's very important to point this out, that there's like blind belief, and then there's the belief that comes from experience.
Once you experience it, there's no belief, right?
Yeah, it's your reality after
belief.
that point. Yeah.
If you've tasted a chocolate, right, you know how it tastes, and I come and tell you, boss, this is not how chocolate is. Chocolate is salty.
How would you
agree to it?
No.
Then there is always a question of belief.
How would you?
Or if you say if chocolate is sweet, if I say that is how it is.
I get it, but what term?
There's no belief once you experience it.
What is it then?
That's a reality for you.
That's reality for exactly.
That's reality. Yeah. There's no belief required there.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
A belief is required at the initial stage.
Yeah.
When you've not experienced it, when you're trying to understand it,
that's
through
interesting.
Your mind.
I think for me that is blind belief for me. Like blindly believe in something is when you don't have any experience. But
I think these are terms.
Yeah, these are just terms.
But my question is,
limitations of the
where is the question of belief once you've already experienced it? You still need belief for it? Like, take your example.
Well, some people say, I just can't believe it.
No, that's okay. Forget about it. Take your example.
Yeah.
Once you started experiencing it,
yes.
Did you need any more belief in it? Was there any more belief it was required?
I'll tell you. In my own experience, even while I was going through experiences, it was still unbelievable for me.
That I agree with you.
It was unbelievable.
It happens, right? It takes time for you to believe it. Still, but your conscious mind to let go. But yeah, I agree with you.
And then when it was, I was sitting with my mom and talking about this, I was done.
Then it takes time for you to. So I wouldn't call it belief. It takes time for you to assimilate it.
Yeah, assimilate, accept. Yeah,
exactly, and accept it.
Yeah,
right.
And also have faith in that idea. It's not just that.
That takes time.
That took time, but then there was that one particular moment I remember specifically, which ingrained that idea in me, which was that's when I truly believed. That's when I completely surrendered. That's the word.
Surrender to the process.
Yeah. That was when I was just sitting in the hall. I was talking to my mom, and she told me about the story of Krishna.
Near the river, the Gopika taking a bath, and he takes the clothes away. I thought it's a horrible thing for a god to do. But then she explained that the logic behind this, he's saying, I am within you, what are you ashamed of? So we have so many barricades that keep us from reaching this acceptance and surrender to God. But if you just do, and then when they do, they completely surrender, that's when they get the clothes back. And I was like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. In that moment, I realized, oh, I was so ashamed of the idea of believing in God. Well, for me personally, I was. Because I thought that was such a
Lamest thing to do.
lamest thing to do. Because 3 years ago, I was a hardcore atheist. Hardcore. Anyone who would tell me that God existed, I'd be like, let me prove it to you that he does. That was my. So I went from that to, and in that moment, I went from that to thinking, you know what? Okay, if it's just belief, please try to believe it. And I just believed, just tears rolling down my eyes. There was this complete freedom. Suddenly I was filled with energy, all my sorrow, my pain. It's in that moment, it's like that. It's retribution, no redemption. I felt redeemed. That's the I was completely. I felt this immense gratitude, and then I felt not just gratitude, but also some sort of this apology. Oh no, yeah, love for sure. This the gratitude came from love. The gratitude came from immense, immense just feeling of love and protection that I felt from. But that also liberated me from the idea that so I've done all these bad things. In that moment, I felt so sorry for whatever I've done, and I felt, you know what, I'm sorry, and I just said sorry, and it just let all that guilt, all that weight on the soul. Just in that moment, it just left, and then I realized that is what we call as moksha, or that is what we call as liberation or enlightenment. Then I realized that's the only starting step, and that's when the life started for me. Yeah. So that was the beauty of it.
We feel this emptiness within us. A lot of us do. There's a void within our chest, a gaping hole. And we try to fill it with so many things. A job, relationships, objects, I don't know, capitalism. But the truth is, none of it can actually fill that void. And we get so disappointed, and we end up living this life of pain, but it doesn't have to be that way. This mindset that we don't have something can only be beaten with the mindset that we have everything. And that is your true state. Your true state is of abundance. The best way to do it is to clear your inner space, and which is why we started this series. I hope this helps as many people as possible. If you did enjoy our content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please watch the entire series because I think it's gonna be of great value. We've spoken about various diverse topics, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. What does clearing the inner journey feel like? What does clearing the inner journey feel like? What does clearing the inner journey feel like?
Oh, it's a lovely question. Oh, it's a lovely question. Oh, it's love. Your heart starts feeling more happy, more content, more peaceful, more relaxed,
Composed.
equanimous, focused. The second part, in the outer reality, you'll start seeing synchronicity, which people call as divine magic, where things just start happening beautifully. Things fall into place.
Yeah.
People connect.
Yeah.
Situations unfold.
All these
Elements come together, and
And-
things just start happening magically.
almost like they're coordinated,
Yes.
planned,
Divinely.
yeah,
Orchestrated.
orchestrated. That's the word.
Divinely.
Oh my god, whoa, what is that? Oh my god, I just stumbled upon gold mine.